Hey, YouTube, how we doing? How we doing? We are out. We have some sunshine today out here in Cali. Uh, Today is that either Galentine's Day or I forget the other words for the guys and everything, or Valentine's Day. You know, it's good for those who do have the sweetheart, and for those who don't, preferably, whether it be preferably or not, hey, it's good for them too. You know? Or like you say, you got your girlfriends or your guy friends you're hanging out with. Hey, however you want to do it, just do it. You know what I'm saying? It is, everything is up to us. Everything is up to us. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and drop a two-step on us on this day. Just dawn upon me and everything. I looked at it before, but really didn't put it together. And it's a simple two-step too, you know? And that is going on that word, God. G-O-D. And even the word good. Okay? G-O-O-D. So, technically, that word good is actually the word God. Why do I say that? Because you have the G and the O-O-D. So that's God. Now the word God, G-O-D, is really gold. And that means to teach and to learn the golds of life. You know, so it's a simple, like I said, two-step, three-step, I guess, with the I was saying two-step with the two O's for that of God, G-O-D, okay? And then that is also a three-step. Why? Because that's just an apostrophe on the G, and then the O-O-D is all together. And then the gold is really because they would normally spell it G-O-A-D, right? They normally spell it G-O-A-D. So there's minus two-step on that, meaning, no, minus one step on that, meaning minus one letter. And that is the A coming out. Okay? So just something to think about as we're, going through the day. And whether it be, if you choose the word God or good, just look at it in a different perspective. That's all. Different perspectives. Because if that's the case, then gold, or as we pronounce it, God, is really about the teachings. Learning and lessons and stuff. And being today, there'll be this comes to me, and as far as that being Valentine's Day, because remember the heart shape is at our root chakra. So a lot of boomsing might be going on, boomsing. But if we can keep it in its lowest form, red, or even like Kuan Yin, was explaining, hey, they wanted to keep us in those lower three chakras, and those are the lowest ones. And believe it or not, that is the beginning part of the rainbow, or even that royale. And that is red, orange, and yellow. Now, I did make a post up about these orange men and everything, you know what I'm saying? So after that red, of Cupid. Cupid means greed. Greed, and he got an arrow pointing out. So, however it is, like you separate, use your cerebrum, your brain. Not just this one here, but the one in your gut is the biggest one. To actually be real, be authentic, you know? And this will turn out to be an actual good, we might be able to go ahead and raise it above that red, which they go ahead and get the red man of the earth. The orange man actually comes from Oranga tribe over in Africa. And, orange men of all of Europe, and then out of right here in Cali, even Orange County, OC 153 fishers, fishermen, you know what I'm saying, or hunters and shit, Huntington Beach and shit, you know what I'm saying, all of them. Yeah, just thoughts going through, just going through. I just wanted to go ahead and share them with you. And then that of the yellow man, that's the Asian man. Okay, so that's what that beginning part of Royale begins. But it's really the fullness is Royale de both. Royale de both. So Yale comes inside of there. Okay? Yale. Okay? And those are the first three that they try and keep you up under there. And Yale, Royale de both is that of Debo. And this is conjunction, I kid you not. The conjunction is this. We went from the 12th to the 13th. And that's what John D, as the hood then went ahead and named him Debo and put crazy eyes on him and shit. Or actually, he was maybe born with the crazy eyes and just gave him the name and shit, And gave it on up to Feartag or Friday or Freya. Actually, it's I believe it's Oshun and that of Ifa, or one would say, life. The L on L Ifa, El Ifa. One could say it like that also. So, being that today is that Friday too. Wow, I didn't even think about that. I did not even think about that. Yeah, so what happens is they go ahead and they multiply the 12 by the 13 in order to get the 23 squares and so forth. To go ahead and use that magic squares, the magic squares and everything, you know what I'm saying? As they substitute them out, say for instance, Hassium. You got your positive, neutral, and then electron, P and E. So that neutral is supposed to be neutral. But what they do, they go inside and make it a positive or negative and everything, and then the internal structure of whatever they're building is altered. It is augmented, like August. Like August. Augusto. The second month after the July, to go ahead and pull another day from this month, February. And this is, February is, starts with the feminine and everything, right? And the things I'm talking about is that of the professionals. And the pros, you gotta watch out for these pros. Because they're pros at verbs. And these professionals, profans, that's all women again. It's all women. Women work at iron work. As James Brown said, hey, this is a man's world. But it wouldn't be a thing without a woman or a girl at 111 on the timer. Without a girl, woman, or a girl. And that's the reason why I stated what I stated today inside of nT.i.Ñ.es classroom. And again, yin is that of the chaos. And Quan is to contemplate. So she contemplates all of the chaotic women and shit, whether it be inside of the male or the female. She contemplates and she just put it out, whether you like it or not. And so that is really we get to the green, you know, after the red, orange, and yellow, we get to the green. That's when we start, you know, that's of the earth and so forth. Now, the word itself, I'm not really a fan of it either. But for the symbology of it, what it represents, that's what we're talking about. Okay, because now we're starting to go ahead and have some growth. We're having some growth inside of the green. Even the green wood dragon, as it was last Chinese New Year, I believe it was. And as we're still in it right now, like I say, this is the second. Sorry, this is the 14th. This is after that 12-13 of John D. You know, that 23, how they slammed into this world and tilted a little bit to give us that 23-degree angle to where we're all walking lopsided right now, sideways, still to this very day. Then, afterwards, walking lopsided, you know, with that 12-13, they go ahead with today and everything with the 14th. They go ahead, you know, because everybody walking lopsided and can't even, you know, discombobulate a little bit, okay? Discombobulated maybe a lot of it. And I do mean a lot. You know, as she was a spawn, again, of those who were not supposed to cohabit with, to have children with. A demigod. She was a demigod. Spawn of a demigod. She was the demigod spawn of those who came down here and landed on Mount Hermon. And the women made it with the men, the sons of God. Okay? It wasn't the sons of God made it with the women. Although they're androgynous, can do both, but I don't think, I have a firm belief that it's not. Why? Because it takes a professional, that's F-E, hey, Daughters of the Republic. It takes a professional to know what's going on. You know, and you got to watch them pros too, you know, them pros and cons are really the same, one and the same. That's why they say and, they didn't say or. They didn't say pros or cons, they said pros and cons. Okay? So, all this right here is what I'm talking about, you know, staying on point with it as you go out through this day. And rise and shine, rise and shine. As we rise and shine throughout this day, which is really our hand. D-A-Y is Y-A-D, which is hand. Okay, in an Ivrit, or Hebrew. And yeah. So the positive on the 14 today is that there are 14 pieces to a microscope for us to go ahead and dig in deeper. Oh wow, it's 14. I was in the 14s right now, okay? So it's to dig in deeper. I'm glad I caught it before we went to the 15-minute, which is right about now. You know, because we're examining that 6. We're examining that 6 right there as we went into that 15. There's 15 degrees right now. These 15 degrees right here actually come after the Psalms, okay, the PS of 16:19, and then the Alms, Aleph, Mem, Lam, and Sa'ad, and the 176 verses as they are divided by 8, as we do, 8 bars inside of a song and chorus and everything, a sweet 16 and full 16, sweet 16 in basketball, it just goes like that, what I'm saying? Sweet 16 also on the front line of a war on the chessboard. And depending on how many, whether you're playing 2 chess 2, and that is going to be 32, 44, huh? Or 46, I think that was going to be the 6. See, now I'm not that good just yet. I just got to get, the calculation and everything. Now, the other person that I have to go back into right now, he's going back to the 12th. I think he was my uncle. They were 6 months older, but I see now, we're just 2 different, we're connected via the sister, which is me mama. And his name he was the crown. He was the crown of the last one born there. And he had that gift that I was talking about, I guess my gift was that of that words, and his, I'm not saying gift, that's poison. That present, as we are supposed to present maybe some flowers that are pre-sent because of the actual love we have, At least that's how they marked it up for today anyway. But he was actually born or came into existence the same year, 66, February 12th. And he amazed me. He amazed me when I was younger and even older, And that's Stephen James Humphrey. Now, he actually didn't talk. He took off and didn't talk to me either, but he only talked to my mother, my mom. I don't like that word mother because it's moth. Moths eat up, and then is dead. Is already dead. When you go to Genesis 38:7, is already dead. So I don't even like that word moth. But Stephen, the crown, James Humphrey, he had that present, that present job, and it was beautiful because he could calculate numbers. Hey, 56 minus 42 plus 0.89 divided by 12. He beats the calculator, and he was doing this at 12 fucking years old. So imagine when I came into myself and was able to go ahead and do as the scriptures say, follow the word. As me and my mama had prompted me to do. And, I guess this was our whole thing before time began, that I had to come and ask her to come through, just like me papa, EB1, senior. And these are all names just, for the gene cesspool process. And that's the reason why there's a lot of genes inside the world, whether it be Jean-Claude Van Damme, or I Dream of Jeannie, or however you want to put it. You guys know what's going on. Yeah. So, and he was definitely accosted with the homosexual thing. I know that. I don't know if it affected him, or how he dealt with it. I'm sure it affected him, how he dealt with it inside of his life and everything. But it sounded like he was doing well, because the phone number I called him to I did get a phone number, and I was able to call it once or twice, and he was like, I never rarely even use this phone, And so it's kind of cool just to hear his voice. But again, he takes the thing of stepping back out of this mess, which I ain't mad at nobody. Everybody got to do what they got to do. Right? So anyway, I wanted to drop that in on this 12th, 13th, and 14th day, because they went ahead after we can examine this through the microscope. But this is exactly how they went ahead and parted us out into 14 pieces. It's dividing that of 14 individuals who went ahead to cut us up at the German in Nuremberg, inside of Nuremberg, inside of the Berlin Conference in 1884, which is 100 years later. That's when I graduated in 1984. So everything is relevant. Everything is relevant. You just have to sit down and see how it's relevant inside of your eyes, inside of your life, inside of the life that you are projecting to be. Okay? Projecting to go ahead and walk into. You've already projected it. It's just a thing of now making the plans and not diverting and not being slowed down by any nonsense, whether it be nonsense of our own or the nonsense that others and their brothers and bro-hoes are doing, because they refuse to do the work. They want everything, as Isaiah 55 has said, come on over here and eat free. Ain't shit free. And I am specifically talking about double-headed Janus, whether it be John New Airy, okay, Janus there, or Janus, what's her name? Janus Word. She wanted to go ahead and call herself free. And that bitch is locked up. And her whole family. Mentally locked up. And I can't believe we actually did business with them with the Word and Brown. And this is actually for the brain. We have a company called Word and Brown, as we did business with Oliver and Brown. We did some business back in the day. Word and Brown is even into brain and mental studies that she has no fucking clue about. And her last name is Word. But we're not being facetious. Again, this is to elevate above those first three chakras. That red chakra, which Cupid, shooting that arrow of greed, Cupid means fucking greed. As they monetize this whole day to glorify that of the cutting up of even Osiris. Okay? To 14 pieces. And focusing, see, tonight is going to be focusing on that phallus. But for most, they're only going to be tripping on those first three chakras, to get it in the vava, or the heart shape is down, again, in the anus, okay? Especially doing all this dirt, shitty type of work, you know what I'm saying? That magic, that secretion, that's what they get it, So this is a major day. And it also transitions over to Muta, okay? Atum, okay? Which is Muta. or muti, which actually is the African word for murder. Murder for what? Well, the heart is what? These are organs. The heart is actually a pump. It's different. The shape of it, again, like I said, the heart that we're talking about is shape. You can only see it an X-ray, and it is down by our genitals. Okay? It's down by our genitals. And so, it's a lot to sit up and contemplate. Contemplation of the I.Ñ.e. Contemplation today and everything, you know. So we can focus on that phallus or lingam, as it would be over in India. See, all of these stories and everything are attached to these, whether it be what Egyptian, which is really that of over in Africa, and even that of India, which is really that over in the West, because we are the ancient East. All right. So, yeah. With that right there, I do want to go ahead and say thank you, because all of this is still not feasible, possible, if every single one of you were not your authentic self. And even if you're not your authentic self, if every single one of you were not operating inside of your karmic self, which is that extra low frequency that we're sitting up here talking about. And instead of being blind, you know, as the three blind mice and everything, we're going to open our eyes up a little bit and see. Maybe might still need the cane. Might still need the cane, you know. But at the same time, we could throw that cane away like Cain did with Abel, and then go ahead and just be like we're supposed to be, like now.